So the first thing you need to do is loosen the wheel nuts while the car is on the ground. We look at the brake pads and you can see that there is just a little bit of material, so these brake pads are gone. Need to replace those. You see that they have already begun scraping against the rotor. This is bad, and these rotors will have to be fixed, to be rectified in a machine, the proper machine, to make them straight again. For now, just clean the surfaces to remove the brake dust. Since we will be lubing up these pins with new brake grease, so it's better to work with clean surfaces. So now we have to remove the bottom bolt to release the caliper. Okay, there we go. Now the bolt comes out. Now remove the top bolt from the caliper. Like so. Now you can hammer one of the sides, typically the bottom side, to make this slide. Hammer on this area to loosen the caliper. Oh. Okay, so there we have it. Caliper is out. Now take one of the bolts and secure it back in its original position and remove what remains of the brake pads. See, these pads are completely busted. And the warning indicator, you see on that side the pad was completely worn out, but in this side the warning indicator did not even set off. So this is a sign of uneven pad wear, and a lesson that you should check both sides of the pads when performing regular inspections in your car. You see, it already ate through the metal, and the brake pad material is completely gone. So now we have to remove the part that holds the caliper in place. There are two bolts, one here and the one on the bottom. Use a 17 socket to remove this. Don't allow the brake caliper to be suspended by the brake hose. Always find a way to hold it in place, either against the suspension strut, like so, or with a wire that you can hold to the coil of the suspension. So now after you remove the caliper, you can remove the disc, the rotor, from the wheel hub assembly. After you remove the caliper holder, there will be two pins on each of the holes. Remove them Clean them up very well using a brake cleaner, a special spray that you can buy at your auto parts store, and then apply this rubber grease. You can get this at Toyota. Here is the part number for you to see. All over the rubbers to make them soft again and enlarge their lifespan. And then apply this anti-seize compound, which is a copper paste, to the bolts themselves before reinserting them into place. Then insert a rag into each of the holes and then push it in with a thin rod, for example, and push it in and out to remove the dirt that accumulates in these canals. It's very important because if this is well cleaned up and well lubrified, lubed, what will happen is that the caliper will slide easily when applying and releasing the brakes, which will prevent the brake pads from scraping permanently against the rotor. Before reinserting the pins, which are already clean, I am applying some grease to the pins, which is an anti-seize compound. It's a coppery paste, thick coppery paste that you apply all over the pin. And then you insert the pin into the caliper. I finished applying the anti-seize compound. Don't use axle grease for this, the results will not be good, because the difference between axle grease and anti-seize compound is that anti-seize compound resists high temperatures, and unlike axle grease. Axle grease will just melt and come out, so it will not last long. The anti-seize compound has the characteristic of being a grease, but once this heats up, the greasy part will decay and it will produce a copper layer that will produce the lubrication of the part. Now I'm applying a bit of rubber grease to the boots so that hopefully they will last a bit longer by moisturizing the rubber. Okay, this is ready to go in the car. Okay, now it's time for the new brake rotors. The rotors come oiled up and with a protective plastic. After you remove the plastic, you will have to clean this up with a degreaser, for example, paint thinner or a brake cleaner, anything that will solve the grease that's in here before you insert this in the car. Once you feel that the surface is clear of grease, it's ready to go in the car. Do the same for both sides. Okay, new rotors are in place. Okay, now since the new pads have more meat in them, you will have to push the piston back towards the caliper. This is done using a special tool. It's comprised of this part and this part here, and I'll show you how to use it. So, you insert this part here. Oh, there is another one, which is this one, but since this is too small, I'm using a wooden block for this. Do the same work. So you insert this here, and then using a set of spanners, a couple of spanners, you do this. So you see, cylinder is now retracted, and now we are ready to put in the new. In every set of pads there will be one with a warning pad and one without it. Be sure to match for each wheel one pad with the warning and one pad without the warning. Usually the warning is turned towards the inside, so the warning stays hidden. Seems like this needs to be retracted a little bit more, just a little bit. Don't force this, because you will damage the anti-squeal coating on the pads. And this coating is usually all the pads come with this coating. Some years ago, people had to smear a bit of special grease on the pads to prevent the squealing. Now all the pads come with this, so it's much better to work with. Now the caliper is in place. I'll just insert the bolts on the top and on the bottom. That's it for the installation. Now we just have to tighten everything. Okay, so to tighten up the two bolts that hold the brake caliper holder, which is this part here, not the caliper itself, the holder, to the wheel hub, you will use your torque wrench set up for 47 foot-pound. Now the last step is tightening this couple of bolts that hold the caliper to the supporting part. For this you will need a torque of 14 foot-pound. Okay, that's good.